In this video, I'll be providing an in-depth tutorial on the Goldbach indicator by DMN. Now this is DMN on Twitter. His handle is ICT DMN, so go give him a follow. He's contributed massively to the world of Goldbach, and he's also on Hoppy's Discord group if you want to find him there. But give the guy a follow. He's done amazing work on this indicator. Okay, so how do you find the indicator? I'll show you from the beginning. It's called DMN ICT AMD Goldbach. Here it is. Now before explaining the indicator, I want to just set it up how I like it to be presented. So I'll just turn off AMD boxes because I won't be going through AMD in this tutorial. I also want to say that this tutorial is not a replacement for the book. You should watch this video in conjunction with Hoppy's book to really understand what all these various settings mean, and a link to the book is in the description below. So I've turned off the AMD boxes, and let's just change the colors. Right, so this is pretty much how you will get it when you load the indicator up. Now, I've explained what the levels are, the highs and the lows, and how we use them and what they mean. So have a look at a previous Goldbach video from me, maybe a Goldbach introduction video or a Goldbach explain video. But this tutorial is primarily about the indicator. Things that I like to have, so the PO3 numbers, the way the PO3 number is worked out, or the PO3 range is worked out, is you get the current price. Now it's Sunday, so the prices are moving. You get the current price, and the indicator calculates for you the high and the low based on the current price and this setting. So you've asked for the 243 Goldbach range. Now you can ask for different ranges, all the way from the 177, 147. I've done a video on this when I talk about Bitcoin, all the way down to the 3. I primarily use for Forex, I primarily use 2781, 243. For the higher time frame stuff, I occasionally use 729. For Bitcoin, I scalp on the 243, but I really like the 2187 for intraday trades. And for longer time frame stuff, I like the 6561, and for the complete picture, it's the 177, 147. Now, what do these actually mean? This is the dealing range box here. Now, let's see if I can make this a little bit bigger. There we go. So what is this telling us? We are highlighting the fact that we have 243 selected here, and it's telling you what is the low, which is this line, and what is the high. Now, the great thing about this stats box, it also shows you, given this price, if you were to look at the 81 power of 3, what would be the high and what would be the low. And it does this from everything from the 3 power of 3 to the 6561. Now, it's very important to understand that it's using the current price and it's working out the dealing range for the power of 3 based on that current price. So this yellow box on the 81, it's highlighting this box because it's saying that the high for the current dealing range that you're looking at is also the high for the 81. Now this is important when you are trying to understand which power of 3 an algorithm is running on. And if you know it's shared with, the high or low is shared with another power of 3 number, you can be aware of that. So just to confirm, this is the high here. So we draw a horizontal line. So that's the high for the 243. If we then change this to the 81, you'll see, look, the high is shared. So that's powerful. So I normally have this on the left. Now this stats box actually shows you the paths that Algo 1 and Algo 2 should be taking. So Algo 1, it should start from the high or the low. It creates the order block. It goes to the opposite breaker. And then the highest point, the extreme of the range it will pass to is the opposite rejection block. And then you have a retracement. Algo 2, which we've spoken about a few times, you can have a look at my DXY videos where I showed you how algorithm 2 was running. It goes from the rejection block, which is here, goes to the breaker, retraces to the fair value gap, and then the highest point it reaches is the opposite OB. So this is a handy cheat sheet. You should know this off by heart if you're a Goldbach trader, but if you don't, it's there in case you need it. So that's handy of DMN to provide that to us. I also like having this stats box available. There we go. So it just tells you, it's just a quick reminder of what power of 3 that you're running. And to be honest, nowadays I don't have this so much. I just have this summary. And this just reminds me where I am in case I'm on the wrong setting. So it just says you're currently concerned with the 243 power of 3. The high is 106,920 and the low is 104,490. And this is the current price. So that's very handy to have. DR shift I've gone through before, but I will tell you again. So given this price, this is the range as per Goldbach. But let's say you just wanted to see what the range was above it, you would just shift it up one. There we go. So if price were in here somewhere, then that would be the bottom of the range and that would be the top. And similarly, if you were concerned about the range below, you would put this to -1. And this would be the high of the range, and this would be the lower range. Very handy. Now, DMN has put this new toy in since this last release, and I haven't actually used it yet, but I can anticipate what it does. So sometimes you want to see the high range and the low range simultaneously with the current range, and this should be able to show you that. So this is the first time I'm trying it, and this is really why I'm doing the video, because I want to play around with the tool. There we go. So you see that between ranges, the high of the current range is shared by the low of the range above. So this, it shows you here. This is equilibrium. And then you can also show the range below. There we go. So the low of the current range is also higher of the range below it. So very nice work by DMN there. Thank you. Now we always have our time zone in GMT -4, but that's fine because I'm not showing you AMD today. There's a lot of information on AMD in the book and also in the official Discord. Now some other things that are pertinent. If you are just concerned with understanding whether we are in the premium or discount of the range, you can switch to equilibrium mode. There we go. So the intermediary IPDA levels have been hidden, and it just shows you the low, EQ, and the high. So this is handy if your algorithm or the strategy that you adopt is just concerned about taking longs in the discount of the range and shorts in the premium. Non-GB levels are an advanced concept, and you'll have to go to the book to really understand what they mean. But within the normal Goldbach numbers, you have these intermediary ranges. So this line here and this line here, these come in handy when your power of 3 is quite big and you're trying to find, or your strategy uses certain techniques that take advantage of these non-Goldbach levels. Okay, labels. This is an important one to have. It depends what you're really concerned with. A number of people only really concern themselves with the IPDA values. So that removes these percentages, and this just highlights the fact that this block is the rejection block, this is the order block, fair value gap, liquidity void, breaker, mitigation block, middle line is EQ, and then we reverse it on the way up. So if you don't care about the percentages, you can just have the IPDA values. Now, if you have the levels, you have the percentages, so 0 to 100, and 0.03 is the rejection block. Now, the nice thing about having these percentages is you can find out the exact price where EQ is just by highlighting over there. So if you highlight over the 0.5, it will tell you the exact price EQ is. Similarly, it will tell you where the order block should start. I usually have both selected. So then in the heat of battle when I'm trading, I'm not trying to remember that between the 0.03 and the 0.11, we have the order block. It's all there for you. Now, CE levels can be very powerful. So if you think about what ICT talks about, he talks about the consequent encroachment of things like, you know, order blocks and other PDAs. Now, what does consequent encroachment actually mean when it comes to Goldbach? Consequent encroachment is the 50% of a range. So if you think about it, if you have an order block that should form here, that would be a true order block because it's in the order block range. The consequent encroachment would not necessarily be 50% of the candle, but 50% of the range. So you can use this and turn on these consequent encroachment levels. There we go. You may want to color them differently, so I normally have them in yellow and dashed. There we go. And this is why they're powerful. Have a look at this wick. It looked like it went to some random number, but look, it went to the bottom of consequent encroachment. Now I wonder how accurate the DXY price is. Let's have a look. So this is the bottom of the wick. And let's try to draw the line. I think that's close enough. There we go. That's pretty close. 104.665, and consequent encroachment, when I've eyeballed it, is 104.662. This is where consequent encroachment becomes very powerful. So let's take off CE. Now this box here comes in handy when you're looking for price to be playing within a range for a long period of time. So you can see that this price action here, we can't exactly see which GB level it matched up with, in which case you would extend this number out to the left a little bit more, and then the lines are extended. There we go. So you can see that this looks like an order block. Similarly, if you have some notes here, or let's say you want your levels to be close to the bars, you can use this value here, extend right, and either increase it or reduce it. There we go. Now there are some other settings in here. Things like you can change the colors as you see fit. You can fill in certain GB levels that you think are important or that are pertinent to your strategy. And obviously you can change the visibility and the style. But these are the main settings that you're probably going to be employing and changing when you're trading using the Goldbach levels. Now, as I said, this video is not a substitute for the book. You should use this video in conjunction with the book. So then you can see exactly how you can use these levels and how you can trade them. If you have any comments on Goldbach trading or ICT concepts in general, feel free to leave a comment in my YouTube videos, or you can find me on Twitter. My mentorship program is still live. So if you would like a 90-minute one-on-one call with me to go over my golden bullet strategy, you can find a link for that below. And if you haven't purchased the book yet and you don't have access to Hoppy's official Discord, a link to the book is also in the description.
You underestimate the power of the dark side.